Hi, I'm Dylan and you're watching Cinephoto. Today we're talking about cameras. So I'm going to start off with the assumption that you've never used a camera before besides the one on your phone. If you feel like this is beyond you, feel free to fast forward to later in the video, but don't come crying to me when your footage comes out all shaky or out of focus. These are the fundamentals that you need to know before you touch any camera. All cameras have three major components: the lens, the body, and the sensor. The lens uses glass to gather light from in front of it and project it back towards the camera. Think a magnifying glass in the sun, same principle. The sensor of the camera is an electrical device that absorbs the light and records it into a visual medium. Finally, you have the camera body itself. This houses the sensor and the lens along with all the other controls that you need to operate the camera. Every camera has a different layout, but most of them are going to contain a screen, buttons, dials, and most importantly, media. I'm giving this its own section because it's that important. On digital cameras, the image gets recorded onto memory cards, hard drives, and any other electronic media that you have. On film cameras, of course, it's recorded onto the celluloid film itself. Here's the important part. Everything that happens on set, every light, every actor, everything that happens in front of the camera is only important if it's actually recorded onto media. Okay, so you know what a camera is and how to set it up, but how do you actually use the thing? Get familiar with the buttons that you're going to use the most. Power is usually marked with a small I/O symbol or on/off. Recording is usually the big red button, and playback is usually the play symbol, the little triangle. Before recording, it's important to format your media, but note, this will erase everything on the card, so make sure everything's backed up before you format. Changing lenses is an important but delicate process. Every camera has a different mounting system, but there are universal rules. The camera sensor sits directly behind the lens and is incredibly delicate. Even the tiniest speck of dust will appear in your final image. Therefore, it is important to be very careful while changing lenses. After safely placing the lens cap, simply press the lens release button, twist, and remove away from the camera. Then, before dust or anything else can get on the sensor, repeat the process in reverse by placing the new lens onto the mount, twisting until it clicks. There are small red dots on the lens and the camera body itself that will align. After powering the camera on, you'll adjust your recording settings: resolution, format, and monitoring. We'll talk about these in a later video and more in depth. Then, you'll adjust your focus and exposure, which we'll get into next.